I'm working.
After, just quickly, Rachel, after Brian's done his thing.
We are open now. People are on here.
Yeah, we
Right, back on 22 because it is a.
Yes. So, okay, it's about ready to start. Well, it's just a couple of minutes to. Okay, we're ready to start.
Well, welcome everybody on Zoom. As you see, the councillors are here tonight. We have Margaret Armstrong, we have Helen Collins, myself, John Harper, and our clerk, Rachel Redding. Welcome to this. This is a special, extraordinary meeting that's been called in order to fulfil our statutory duty with regard to the annual government report, the AGAR reports, which unfortunately we have not completed now for 2 years, and we're also hopefully going to complete the one for this year, which isn't late. We have had extensions for. I can see people joining us. Excellent. Right. So if I can start the meeting then. The first item on the agenda is apologies for absence. Yeah, and we've had one apology, and that's from Paul Wood, who unfortunately can't make this Wednesday. So do I have a vote to accept those apologies? Yes, unanimous, thank you. Item 2 on the agenda, 002. Declarations of interest, existence and nature with regards to items on the agenda. Do we have any declarations of interest? I don't think we do. No, that's fine. Thank you very much. Item 003 is the opportunity to allow Brian Brooks, our internal auditor, to address the council and members of the public with a summary of the audits. Brian, are you with us?
Yes, Chairman. Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening. If you would like to explain and address the council tonight.
Right. Thank you, Chairman. Yes, when your clerk contacted me, we had a preliminary meeting, and I wasn't fully aware of the circumstances until I got further into the asking for various documents. Then I realised that we weren't just talking of the current AGAR returns. We had to go back to the 2017-18, and when we started looking for the evidence of this, the clerk couldn't find any accounts, minutes. I searched your website and there was no financial regulations and information on the website, which should be within to meet the transparency regulations. There was no minutes, and at the moment I don't think we've found any minutes for starting of that, well, even prior to the 17-18. We found the 16-17 audit, which had been signed off, and everything seemed to be honky-dory at that time. But since then, unfortunately, there has been no shall we say, governance of the council and accountability that we've got evidence of. So, being asked to carry out the audit, you have been furnished with my checklist initially, which you can see that there was no ledger located. So initially, before I could start on that, your clerk had to pull some documents together, which was purely based on the bank statements. This has revealed that there's several documents missing to match up with the bank statements. The checkbooks, they don't reconcile correctly. So really the accounts were in a bad state of affairs. I couldn't locate any financial regulations which the council should have been following. The last VAT that I found was back in August of 17, but again there was no documents to substantiate that payment. Various discrepancies. There were 17 invoices unknown, 11 invoices not located, 16 receipts unknown, 28 checks that had been made out were incorrect with either the documents or the actual stubs. There was an unknown payments of £474. A lot of the outgoings was initially to grants and donations for £5,600 there, but the council has they can record such donations under what is called section 137, and but none had been recorded as such and minuted under that because you are limited to the amount of payments you do in grants and donations based on the electorate. The only one item we found on that was actually for a Christmas tree and lights of £218 out of a total of £5,655. Standing orders, again, they were last reviewed. Evidence has been, only evidence we've got was back in 2010. The annual meeting in May 2010, and that was also the last time the finance regulations were adopted. But again, it's evident that they weren't followed. Well, they haven't been followed since 2017-18, put it that way. So there's no record of evidence of adequate internal controls for payment. That's public money as such, so which is a requirement that there should be a correct accountancy of this. Various other items, such as I say, I mentioned the minutes and agendas are missing pre this 2017 period. There was two committees in that year, 17-18. There was a planning and playing fields committee, but again, no idea what they did or what they spent or anything of that nature. That isn't evidence. There was under what is called risk management, there's a area to follow which do scan of minutes reveal any unusual activity. There was a gift voucher of £250 made to a retiring employee, which is actually illegal to do that for individual to receive any, or the council to pay any money to an individual. Even on your grants and donations, you can't pay it to an individual, you can pay it to an organisation, but not to individuals. There was no annual risk assessment carried out, and council should have a list of assets. This couldn't be located but there was a figure put on previous statements of, I think, in the region of, bear with me a moment, I haven't got that to hand, I've got that much paperwork here. You've got total fixed assets carried forward from 2016-17 was 160,634. But again, no documents have been located to substantiate that figure. And whatever those assets were, there should be risk assessments and checks carried out on them. And then also that figure should be related to what the council insurance is. So there's a requirement there to list the assets at cost. There's no depreciation carried out on council property. It's just straightforward at cost. Even if something was donated, it's just a nominal pound or something like that. But a council requirement to keep those documents, and you will review them to be able to review the insurance for the following period. No signed minutes have been located, and of course asset control on employees. Obviously it's not various amounts, right? With employees, obviously it comes under the employment regulations, so I can't say too much about that at this stage, but this information has been made available to the council in section 5 and 6 of the checklist. But there's various figures there and various questions there which I cannot discuss in public. Bank reconciliations, as I say, we've found the bank statements, but there's no evidence that they have been monthly checked for reconciliation as and when they've been received. Was copy dated. All councillors have to follow a code of conduct, and the last copy that's been located was back in October 2012, and that is and on this, for the conclusion of this checklist, I made recommendations that the council need to be fully aware of the extent of the situation and need to action plan to regulate. Something that isn't under the normal checklist is the other roles and responsibilities and assets such as your allotments. And also it would appear the clerk, as well as being the clerk and responsible financial officer, was also the burial clerk. Again, it is usual for these to be audited because again you come under the other regulations here for control of internments and the various documents that need to be kept, etc. So cemetery fees on the website were dated 2010, whereas again that is a normal practice a council should carry out to regulate such controls. And then I did list the various documents that normally should be presented for audit: standing orders, financial regulations, equal opportunities policy, grants policy, councillors' declarations of interest, code of conduct, all council and committee agendas, signed council minutes, signed the planning committee minutes, signed Plainfield minutes, committee terms of reference, insurance policy, asset register, deeds articles and land register, risk assessments, rental contracts, contracts of employment, VAT records, pension documents, HMRC, PAYE, NI, VAT, etc., cemetery documents and allotment documents, and the bank mandate, which all of those items were not available to carry out a proper audit. Hence, I had to submit to the council the annual internal audit report 2017-18, which I have duly submitted, and it's a yes, no, or not covered checklist. And the only one I could actually put a yes to was the precept or rates requirement resulted from an adequate budgetary process. That was actually in a minute, and I found the minute and recorded it. The other part of that objective was the progress against the budget was regularly monitored. Well, I had to put that in red because that was no evidence of that being carried out, and reserves were appropriate. So there is a lot of no's there, unfortunately. Really, it's that state of affairs, Chairman. So that's basically my report to council. I'm obviously available to take any questions if anyone wishes to.
Well, if I could just as a point here, 003A should we add to the agenda? Just can we take a vote of the council here tonight? We can throw this open now to questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unanimous. Right. Yes. So, Rachel, if you'd like to unmute those as they.
If anybody wishes to speak, did you want to raise your hand on the? I think there's a. I think is it reaction? I think there's a. If you just sort of do a hand wave under reactions, if you wish to speak or ask the council or Brian any questions, we have opened the meeting for questions. Okay, we'll take that as no questions then. Thank you very much. Okay, reopen the meeting.
Thank you, Brian. Very thorough. Thank you very much indeed. 004.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I think you're free to go now, Brian, if you wish, but thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Super, thank you. 004 on the agenda, to be notified and approve the internal audit report 2017-18 as previously circulated and determine any actions required. Well, it's pretty resounding from Brian there, really, with that year.
But there's no evidence, we can't find, we can't find the evidence, that's the issue.
And they said the minutes, that was stacked like this, the minutes and
But they're not signed and they're not on the website again.
But if there was anything to be altered, I always wrote it in.
Okay.
If anybody wants them,
Yeah. So in terms of actions, I think just taking Brian's checklist,
Yes.
obviously the summary is that there's a lot of outstanding policies and procedures that need to be put into place, or a deeper dive to locate those, because obviously all of those should be made on the website. So I think that's an action that we need to take forward. In terms of financial controls, I think we've already evidenced in the last couple of meetings that we are presenting the payment schedules and detailing those expenditures publicly, with the exception of clerk payments, obviously, and not clerk payments, sorry, employment payments, because that is confidential. But the summary, the full total, is made available in the minutes.
It worries me.
See, everything's missing. Back to the beginning.
2010, yes. So the 2010, I've got the.
Because when he was saying about regulation 137 and other things, it was bringing it back to mind that we used to mention all these things in the meeting.
Again, we don't want to discuss.
Back, I don't know,
Yeah, I suppose we're not here to discuss. We're just here to approve the annual audit.
Yeah.
So the recommendations moving forward. So we just need to sort of take a vote on if we agree that initially the audit submission, the checklist and the summary, do we approve that report?
However horrific it is, do we approve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next item is, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I'm just going to take this because I needed it signed. So, okay. So this is section 1 of the annual governor's statement, and I do need to ask questions and tick whether they've been met or not, and then we need to take a signature from yourself, John, at the end. Okay, so we have put into place arrangements for effect. This is 2017-2018. Okay. It's a yes/no answer, so if you can just sort of take that. So this is back at the time. So we have put in place arrangements for effective financial management during the year and preparation of accounting statements. Yes or no? I think what not to sort of lead the decision, but obviously I've had to prepare the accounting statements because none of those have been made available for myself or Brian when I'm just taking it. So no, all in agreement?
Yeah.
Okay. We maintained adequate systems of internal control, including measures designed to prevent and detect fraud and corruption, and reviewed its effectiveness. Yes or no? Yes means we made proper arrangements and accepted the responsibility for safeguarding public money and resources in its charge.
No.
Oh.
Because we did do this back in 1980.
Yeah, we're talking
in this area, but we did have an instance before I came on council, not to this extent. I thought that's when we went to 2 signatures and we started having a responsible finance officer.
Okay.
Because before that it wasn't mentioned like that.
No.
But it's really been known for this since 2010, hasn't it? I think.
2017.
Yeah, but she's just, yeah, but I know what you're saying. I mean, the evidence from the internal audit is actually all the documents in the, you know, the cemetery and the standing orders, they all date, they've not been updated since 2010. So, okay, item number 3. We took all reasonable steps to assure ourselves that there were no matters of actual or potential non-compliance with laws, regulations, proper practices that could have a significant financial effect on the ability of this authority to conduct its business or manage its finances. Yes or no? Yes means that this authority has done what it has the legal power to do and has complied with proper practices in doing so.
No.
Would they a no?
No. Yeah.
Okay, 4, we provided proper opportunity during this year to exercise the electors' rights in accordance with the requirement of the accounts and the accounts and audit regulations. So during the year, we gave all persons interested the opportunity to inspect and ask questions about this authority's accounts. And just to sort of let you know, what you need to do is you need to publish your what they're called again, the exercise of electors' rights to view, put them in notice board and on your website, and also publish your unaudited accounts. And again, you need to ask them, you can put the council sort of address for people to come and ask questions, or documents can be sent to the individuals upon submission of their. So as there are no accounts on the website, that's just to sort of let you know that's what that means. Okay. Okay, we carried out an assessment of the risks facing this authority and took appropriate steps to manage those risks, including the introduction of internal controls or internal controls and/or external insurance cover where required. Considered, yes means considered and documented the financial and other risks it faces and dealt with them properly.
No.
No.
Okay, number 6, we maintained throughout the year an adequate, effective system of internal audit and accounting records audit of the accounting records and control systems. Yes means the authority arrange for a competent person, independent, or the financial controls and procedures to give the objective view whether the internal controls meet the needs of this smaller authority. Obviously, we have done that retrospectively with Brian, but not at that time. So it's in this year. So no. Okay. Number 7, we took appropriate action on all matters raised in the reports from internal and external audits. Yes means responded to matters brought to its attention by internal and external audit.
No.
Okay, number 8, we considered whether any litigation, liabilities, commitments, events or transactions occurring either during or after the year end have a financial impact on this authority. Where appropriate, we have included them in the accounting statements. Yes means the authority disclose everything it should have about its business activity during the year, including taking place after the year end and at year end if relevant. That's a no. Okay. Number 9, last question. For local councils only, trust funds including charitable. In our capacity for sole managing as a trustee, we discharged our accountability responsibilities for the funds/assets, including financial reporting and, if required, independent examination or audit. I don't believe you are a trustee or charitable organisation for any other. No. So that's not applicable. Okay. So I'm just going to, Chairman, it's 2015-005 for the minute reference. So I'm just going to put that on there. 010/005. The date today is the 28th of the 10th, 2020. I'm just going to do my signature. If I can just take your signature. I don't want to sign that one.
You know you need glasses when you miss the box.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that's the item.
So that is section 1. So the next item on the agenda, 006, to approve the accounting statement 2017-18 AGARS section 2 as previously circulated.
Just to let you know, on this document we have for the 2018 figures, we have redacted it because actually the 2017 figures didn't match what we needed it to for me to enable to. I set the opening balance as what was on the statement because I have no evidence of any of us. So we've had to redact what was previously submitted for the 2017 because again it didn't match the accounting statement. And with that in mind, so number 1, balances were brought forward. So it was 84,504. Preset rates and levies for 2017-2018 was 47,000. Other receipts and other income to the council was 11,540. And then your staff costs, so negative takeaway, which was for staffing costs, was £27,649. There are no loans. Number 5 is loan to capital interest, so that's nil. And other payments in the year of 2017-2018 was 28,616, which brings the total balance to 86. Balance to bring forward is £86,779. And as mentioned in Brian's statement, the fixed assets, we can only work on the figure that was set in 2016-2017, so that's 160,634. Okay, so I just need you to agree those and if you resolve to approve those accounting statements. Okay, so that's me, we'll just sign that. Okay, 28/10/20, and it's X, so is it 05? Yeah. EX 2010/0/. Is it 5?
No, 6, isn't it?
Sorry, 6, yeah. I'm going to get that wrong. And it's the, we confirm that was the 28th of the 10th, 2020. And again, Mr. Chairman, if I can just get your signature in the very bottom box, please. So that's that done. The next section is section 3 in the account audits, which will be, that's when it goes to the external auditor, then they then submit their summary of findings. Okay, so that'll be done in due course. Okay, that's that item.
Unfortunately, 007, as a result of the non-submission and late submission of the AGAR, this item is to approve payment of the outstanding charges of £816.
Just the below microphone.
That goes to whom? That goes to PK Littlejohn.
Yes, PKF Littlejohn, yeah. So yeah, that's their final summary. So that was sent with the at the conclusion of 2017, 2018. Obviously, they still do it. They still conclude the audit, but they conclude it as no audit submitted. And there is we have got a letter that states that the final charge is £816. Yeah. So basically, you incur additional charges for them not being able to undertake the work. Okay.
So we do own this money, yes? Yeah. Thank you very much. That is 2017 and 18 laid to rest. We come to 008 to be notified and approve the internal audit report for 2018-19 as previously selected.
Okay, so same as last time. Just a second. 2018, 2019. Just to let you know that there are some people unmuted and we can hear you. Sorry. So that's, I just pass that schedule around. And obviously we have the internal checklist which Brian has submitted, which was circulated in emails, the actual narrative of findings. Have you got a copy there, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much as the year before.
Yeah.
So we approve the internal audit for 2018-19. Circulated.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Next item, 009, to review and approve the annual government statement 2018-19.
Okay, here we go again. All right then. So, okay, same as last time. So, item 1 for the year of 2018-2019, we have put in place arrangements for effective financial management during the year and for the preparation of accounting statements. Yes means that this authority has prepared its accounting statements in accordance with the accounts and audit regulations. Okay. Item 2, we maintained an adequate system of internal control, including measures designed to prevent and detect fraud and corruption, and reviewed its effectiveness. Yes means the authority made proper arrangements and accepted its responsibility for safeguarding the public money and resources in its charge. Okay. We took all reasonable steps to assure ourselves that there are no matters of actual or potential non-compliance with laws, regulations and proper practices that could have a significant financial effect on the ability of this authority to conduct its business or manage its finance. Yes means that this authority has done what it has in its legal power to do so and has complied with proper practices in doing so. Same as before, no? Okay, item number 4, we provided a proper opportunity during the year to exercise the electors' rights in accordance with the requirement in the accounting and audit regulations. Yes means that the authority during the year gave all persons interested the opportunity to inspect and ask questions about the authority's accounts. No. Item 5, we carried out an assessment of the risks facing the authority and took appropriate steps to manage those risks, including the introduction of internal controls and/or external insurance to cover where required. Yes means that the authority considered and documented the financial and other risks it faces and dealt with them properly. Okay. Item number 6. We maintained throughout the year an adequate and effective system of internal audit and of the accounting records and control systems. Yes means that the authority arranged for a competent person, independent of the financial controls and procedures, to give an objective view on whether the internal controls meets the needs of this smaller authority. No. Okay, we took appropriate action on all matters raised in the reports from internal or external audit. So yes means that the authority responded to the matters brought to its attention by internal and external audit. Okay, item number 8. We considered whether any litigation liability, commitments, events or transactions occurring either during or after the year end have a financial impact on the authority, and where appropriate we've included them in the accounting statements. Yes means that the authority disclosed everything it should have about the business activities during the year, including events taking place after the year end, if relevant. Yes or no? No. And then the last one is about the trust funds, and are we happy just to accept and not applicable? Okay, so I'm just going to do the minute reference again. So that's EX2 2010. Is it 009? Yep, don't want to get that wrong. We're on 009. Section 1, yeah, that's fine. And that's the 28th of the 10th, 2020. Clerk signature. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Item 010 to approve the accounting statement. Is that what we've done?
No, this is section 2.
Okay, to approve the accounting statement, AGARS section 2 for 2018-19 as previously said. Yeah. Okay.
So for 2018-2019, the balance brought forward as per the previous year was £86,779. The preset rates or levies for the year 18-19 was 49,500. Total receipts, that's income, was 1,783, which is basically from 2018 there was 11,540. So in March 19 it was only 1,700. So this is a very great loss of income there. On the explanation of variances, just to let you know, I've just have to detail that we were unable to locate the reasons why, because previous clerk was on the previous council. So I said the true reasons will not be known. Okay.
Can we sort of like possibly suggest that might be to do with burial money? That might be a lot.
We can look at the 2017-2018 income and see what came in, so then we can see also what hasn't come in for the finance of the year. So we can do a deeper dive on that if you would. To be fair, it's already in those two
so
there.
It's something we've got to change.
Yeah, so as you can see here, I've done the breakdown in terms of your assets.
Yeah.
So it will detail within on the payment schedule what the income was. So more than happy, and these will be published on the website as well for people to look at.
We can't just say, oh well, we didn't have that much income that year. We've got to find out where that income forward is.
Yeah. So the income. Sorry, just for purposes. There was, so for 2017-2018, there was just all it says on the account statement is credit So we don't know what that relates to. And there's large credits for 3,142, a HMRC credit for £2,021, another credit for 1,020, and another credit for 5,330. But again, and then in 20, well, there's a compensation from Severn Trent for 1,200, and a credit for £559, but that's the only income in that year on the actual, that's on the bank statements. No worries on that, which is relocated.
Would some of those uncashed checks that have been notated relate to that year, or do they relate to?
The checks do relate to, so when I was going through the cemetery documents, there are checks within there. Top of my head, I couldn't tell you what the dates are, but I do have those. I think it equates to just over 1,200. So
they could be subject to a request for resubmission of those checks at some later date.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
So I'm guessing the credits might just be payments into the bank, so there'll be checks. So there will be burial checks, and they might just be done in a lump sum.
So graves.
Yeah, graves and allotment fees. Yeah, but I suppose the cash can still be paid in and needs to be paid in. So yeah. Okay. So are we just okay to move on with that one? So so staff costs for the year of 2018-2019 was £32,841. There are no loans. Other payments made by the council are £31,736, which has a balance carried forward of £73,485. And again, the fixed assets is the same as last year of £160,634. Just to sort of let you know as well, when I have reconciled, it does balance. Right. So that there is, I think, maybe a margin of £1 on 2019-2020, but it will balance because you're going on statements versus check stubs. So it does. It just to let you know that the balance does tally.
That's our reconciliation.
Yeah. So the reconciliation there are other documents on top of this which you've all received and the explanation variances.
Yeah, approved.
Okay.
Again, we come to 011.
Just bear with me a second, John. I just need to get this. Yeah, sorry. The minute reference for this one is section 2, 2010E at 2010-010. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Item 011, approval of the outstanding charges of £816 due to late submission of 2018-19 AGARS. That's approved. There, we're on to 2019-20 now. Item 012. To be notified and approve the internal audit report 2019-20 as previously circulated and determine any actions required. The actions on that are the same as in 2017-18.
Sorry? The national insurance and PAYE, no, there's no evidence.
When did the legislation come in about pension where we as employees?
Oh, that was about 2016, I think. 2000. Yeah. Pension regulator.
There is a pension.
not that, again, I can't find evidence, but there's no, but there's no evidence in any, there are 2017, 2018, there are payslips. But again, there's no evidence that HMRC have been paid for the PAYE.
Yeah.
It's been deducted from salary, but it's not necessarily been paid to HMRC.
We've had any communication from HMRC?
Not that I can locate.
No. Would that have been addressed to us at the council?
It would have come to the clerk, yeah. Happy to approve the internal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next item 013 for review and approve the annual governance statement, section 1, as previously circulated.
Oh, here we go again. Okay. So item 1. Oh, hang on. Oh, we are on 1920. Sorry, I'm thinking that's the wrong year. Okay, so 1920. We put in place arrangements for effective financial management during the year and preparation for accounting statements. Yes means it's prepared its accounting statements in accordance with the accounts and audit regulations. Okay, item 2, we maintained an adequate system of internal control, including measures designed to prevent and detect fraud and corruption, and reviewed its effectiveness. Okay, I'm happy. We took reasonable steps to assure ourselves that there are no matters of actual or potential non-compliance with laws, regulations and proper practices that could have a significant financial effect on its ability of this authority to conduct its business and manage its finances. No again. We provided proper opportunity for to exercise the electors' rights in accordance with the requirements of the accounts and audit regulations. Okay. We carried out an assessment of the risks facing this authority and took appropriate steps to manage those risks, including the introduction of internal controls and/or external insurance cover where required. Okay. We maintained throughout the year an adequate, effective system of internal audit of the accounting records and control systems. Okay, no. We took appropriate action on all matters raised in reports from internal and external audit. No, okay, and we considered whether any litigation liabilities, commitments, events or transactions occurring during the year, during or after the year end have a financial impact on this authority, and where appropriate we've included them in the accounting statements. Okay, and item 9 is about the trust funds, and do we agree to not? Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, let me just do this. 28. Okay, and it is item 013. Okay.
Section 1.
Yeah, 2013.
And just on the top there, I've got that wrong around there.
Right.
Item 014 to approve the accounting statement for 2019-20.
Okay, so 2019-20. Balances brought forward were 73,485. The precept and rates or levies, 51,900. Total receipts, 11,821. So again, there's definitely some income array on 2018-19, so we need to look into that. Staff costs for the year of 1920 was 28,671. Other payments were 32,270, and the balances carried forward into the year of 2020-2021 was 70,331. And again, the fixed assets are set as the previous years of 160,634. Okay.
But, yeah, in that period as well, we had, as we discussed at a previous meeting, the money that we were owed and that's being chased by the solicitors for land sold of 37,000. I'm assuming if that land was sold, even though we never received the £37,000, the asset should have gone down by a figure. Yes.
Yeah.
So there is something really. No,
I don't think it's ready for discussion here.
No,
Yeah.
no, but what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying the asset should have, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the assets, we can't find any register of assets. So myself, pulling together the documents can only set the assets of what was last.
Yes, it does, that's asset management.
Two.
So you've got a couple, one was an accountant,
Okay.
Walls.
So just to confirm, I'll submit those tomorrow to be careful, little John.
You submit them all at once.
Yeah, well, I'll be scanning them individually. You just email them through. So I'll email them individually so they don't get listed to one unit. And then what will happen is the audit for 2019-2020, which is due by 31st of October, won't be able to happen until they've done the audit for 2017, 2018, and then 2018, 2019. Then they'll move on to this. But we have submitted this one by the deadline, so we shouldn't incur any other fees other than the payment to process.
One more 800.
Okay.
Right, so we've got item 015, which are the 3 payments for the internal audits.
So that's the first one.
1718.
So the first, 1718 is to pay Brian Brooks for his completion of the internal audit, which was very thorough, I think we all agree, in the report that he's attended this evening, of £481.30. We've got 2 more years to go.
Well,
Yeah.
that's on 1 year.
Okay, that's
Okay,
agreed then.
agreed, thank you. So the next one
For
is
2018-19 internal audit fee, £500.
£500.
And the final one for 1920, £500.
So actually, John, can I just ask, can we just get you to sign this,
Yeah.
actually, because we don't actually have a payment schedule, yeah, it's fine, they have been approved, but I'll put them on the payment schedule in November as well, just so it's, just to say that we approved that payment. Okay.
On behalf of the council, I'd like to thank Brian for all his hard work. It must have ruined quite a few evenings for you, but thank you very much, Brian, for undertaking that work for us.
Okay, final item.
Final item.
You want to give some background to this as well, maybe?
I'll give you a little bit of background, yes. The insurance. We managed to find information on BHIB as being insurance for the parish council. And in view of some of the discrepancies, I wanted to see whether or not we could recover some of the costs on the insurance. And we could have done had we been insured, but I found out that the insurance expired on, I think it was the 1st of June 2019. And despite repeated phone calls, emails, and correspondence, no reply was ever received from our clerk. So they therefore took the decision that we must have found alternative insurance and cancelled our insurance.
Also, it was found, the audit did pick up that the payment had been approved to pay for BHIB.
Yes.
However, the payment never was made.
What happened was in February this year, the insurers received a cheque from Scotland Council. However, the cheque was dated May 2019, was therefore 6 months out of date and was useless to them. I have since been in touch with BHIB and they have put us back on insurance pending this approval tonight of the payment for, is this for a year or for a year?
So that is the, it's an annual cost, but it's a reduced rate if we agree to a 3-year term with them. So it's a long-term LTR, I think it's called. So it's, yeah, if we agree to sign up for 3 years, then it's £1,800.
It's a one we've got to have.
Yeah.
It's the LAUC recommended insurance, and it keeps us all nicely.
But it is an annual payment, just to let you know.
But even though we haven't paid it yet, we are insured from the point that I had that telephone conversation. But it was obviously subject to your approval tonight. That's a relief. Thank you very much indeed for that.
So that closes, John, to reduce leader to close the meeting. It's 19:55.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you very much indeed for members of the public that attended this evening. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good
Thank you
night.
very much.
Good night, all. Good night. Thank you,
Yeah.
John.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. Well done getting through that. Well
Yeah.
done. The challenge. Well done, all of you.
Yes, thank you. Good night, all of you. Well
Good night,
done.
councillor.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.
Good night.